We again will speak about investigation of those murders which took place in winter 2014, and about the list of cases and also figurants. Yegor, please. Microphone. Good morning. A little bit of history. All of us, we met in December, and during the first meeting of our committee on corruption fight. And that happened at the initiative of Vitaliy Shabunin and Maselko. That was a joint meeting with the committee of the parliament, which is responsible for legislation for law enforcement bodies. And we invited also General Prosecutor Yeremo and the Minister of Interior, Avakova, and the head of SBU, Nilovach. And we told them cases of Maidan, those are key cases, and for by which we will assess your work. If there is no results, you are not there. Then, as a profile commission, which is responsible for parliamentary control and for investigation of the key anti-corruption cases, we started to study what happens to the investigation. And month after month, unfortunately, we saw how on Automaidan cases and cases of top corruption, the same results, 0 results. Investigation goes on, and pre-trial investigation goes on. In the better cases, somebody receives a suspicion, but no case came to the sentence. Together with journalists and with with NGOs and with lawyers who for fighting for the investigation, for the work of law enforcement bodies, and helped the way they can. They were writing for investigators, and then we started to initiate resignation of these among participants, so that only Avakov still is holding his position, but we are working to dismiss him from that position. And I believe that we will achieve that. But that is not sufficient, because as we see with the example of Yeremo, people come and they replace and they continue the same case and covering corruption, and they don't do anything on investigation of terror of Automaidan, on murders of and investigation of top corruption. What is interesting, at some point we understood that between investigation of these cases or absence of investigation, there is a very logic and connection and tight connection. This government doesn't investigate terror murders on Automaidan because of the previous power started that terror just to rob the country, because they continue and preserve all those schemes and plus the story with the fight of BDSM. That is a very symbolic story. Business based by Stavitsky, Minister Yanukovych. Yanukovych flee, and he fled, and but business continues, and we need a big fire to understand that, and Serhiy will continue that. When we realized that if we dismiss heads of law enforcement bodies, they are replaced with the same kind of people who grew up in the system. They continue the same traditions, who are a part of those corruption schemes, and nothing has changed. Then we started to look for solutions. One of the solutions, and we introduce today, the idea is to include all society into control over investigation of these key cases. Whether the cases of murders on Automaidan and corruption, everything depends on that. And if those if these cases are investigated, then then will break the relations between this government and previous. And the previous one will be in jail, and this one will work and live a new life, or will go to the prison also. Oh, they will have to cancel top corruption. How do we suggest to do that? We developed a website it's after cases of corruption or QA, then we'll publish online all information we receive, our lawyers receive, NGOs receive, and parliamentary commissions and MPs about investigation of these top cases. For every case, all the country must see how long the investigation goes, who is a concrete procedural, in other words, a prosecutor responsible for that case, and what they achieved or not achieved as a result of investigation. I suggest you go to this website. There are about 160 cases, and the first started in 2013 when Automaidan began. And that's a case about rob an agrarian fund. Unfortunately, this is the same. The investigation in the same status. The investigation goes on. The other cases are about top officials of this of this government, and the parliament is working to confirm accusation of Hordienko, who there were concrete facts of concrete corruption which concretely exist in some enterprises, and still it is sabotaged by law enforcement bodies and leaders. The parliament, the MPs proved that accusation about preservation of corruption in this government has basis. But to correct them, on one hand, we need to dismiss the government people for that, and also investigate and to put them into a jail. We have big problems with those. That's why we invite all the society to get in, to involve. How it can be used for every journalist. That's a very good preparation for any meeting with a general prosecutor, Minister of Interior, and the head of SBU. Tell me, dear Viktor Mykolaievich, this is a case such and such. Why you have not done anything on this? Also, we hope that this will make our colleagues in the parliament more demanding. Now, nobody has a doubt in the country that this general prosecution covers corruption. David Sekorelidze showed that in lots of dollars in a key investigation at the Department of General Prosecution of Ukraine. He covered the whole 4 and 1 of the offices of the prosecution. So the parliament has a very important task, and we have no right to get out. We should dismiss general prosecution leadership, and we should appoint a person like Sekorelidze who proved that he will not live in this circle, who proved that he will investigate top corruption, and only then we'll get a real law enforcement in our country. If the parliament will not support this, all conversations about European Ukraine, about the majority which has constitutional number of votes, it's a lie, and we are the same people who cover top corruption. And also we hope that it will be very useful for our citizens, because on number of circular control and from everything, success or failure of any big case depends on this. And here we have people who won a lot of important cases for people, because they were based on citizens, and they are active citizens too. Now I'll be happy to give them the floor, and I invite you all to use that list of top investigation as a weapon against those contacts and about covering by the leadership of the country of top corruption.
Good morning. I'm Serhiy Ivanov. I would like to tell you the story how these delays are organized, in what it results. As a person having an experience of work in the prosecutor's office, and I know the process quite well, and I should state that this is unprecedented. situation of full discretion of the investigators and prosecutors. This started long ago in 2010 when people from Donetsk Oblast came in mass amounts and they has started this tradition. Speaking about investigations about Yanukovych family members, I cannot understand what prevented our investigators and prosecutors from full investigation of all those cases within 18 months. When we look at the property of Kurchenko, Kluyev, or any other ally of Yanukovych in the territory of Ukraine, it's very easy to study the materials, to file case to court, to get court judgment and submit this court judgment for further compensation and thus bring back all those assets to Ukraine. When I am asked why prosecutor's office do not do this, I cannot find the answer. And we receive more and more information and facts which prove that the prosecutor's office is responsible for procedural oversight on criminal investigations, and they intentionally hinder the process. Yegor mentioned BRSCM case. The sources of information which we have in the prosecutor's office informed us that the first cases against BRCM were filed in early July last year, but unfortunately those investigations were closed. There was an order of Prokuror Shokin, General Prosecutor Shokin, to close this investigation. This was about counterfeit products and raw materials which were harmful for human health. For me, it's quite clear when in any gas station people add something to fuel in order to raise extra money on each liter of fuel. For me, it's clear that this is corruption, and when such case is stopped, I immediately understand that that's not right. Then another issue was about illegal appropriation of assets, about a criminal group which has stolen assets in extra big amounts. But nevertheless, we filed this case to the prosecutor's office, and we received an official letter from the prosecutor's office that there were no grounds among the members of parliament to submit such a request to start investigation about Kluyev. This was about disappearance of 1.2 billion hryvnia. And this letter was signed by Deputy Prosecutor General Guzir. In general, the case remains with the investigator, but the prosecutor already has preliminary opinion that the case had no grounds and that it was illegal, and there were no necessary checks carried out. There is no need in such checks because the members of parliament submitted a request about investigation, having mentioned some specific facts. And now Prosecutor General has started to make pressure upon investigators. They make a request and forward it to the Minister of Interior and request all the information, all the personal information about those people who dealt with the BRCM case, and actually thus they wish to keep under control those investigators whose duty is to carry out unbiased investigation. Unfortunately, this is Mr. Guzir who supervises all those people, and actually thus he allows these things and supports them. Please excuse me for such a long statement, but I would like to send clear message that non-action is an intentional sabotage, an intentional delay, and we should bring those prosecutors to criminal responsibility for each fact of non-action. Because all those crimes which we discussed today, they were carried out long ago, 18 months, and they should be investigated. We have 10 minutes. Please be very brief. The criteria of efficiency equals to 0. The criteria of successes is put into prison and sentence or confiscation. Unfortunately, only 5,014 hryvnia were confiscated to the budget after 18 months. After Mr. Tishchenko was appointed into the position of head of the department on submissions to the international enforcement bodies, and her inactivity, we can expect that very soon Ms. Savaka will be resign. We believe that discussion with the law enforcers should be very clear with the facts, and our website allows to get this real facts. Roman Maselko, and I deal with the Automaidan cases, and they filed to court the cases which will be immediately destroyed during the proceedings, because during litigation, because the investigation is carried out in very negligent manner. And as of Now the statistics is as follows. They say that they have filed to court around 50 Automaidan cases, but the results of litigation will not be satisfactory because the investigation was not carried out at right level, and thus the impunity will be in place again. And that is the key principle is irrevocability of punishment, and without this we won't be able to show those people that we keep it under control. We should clearly understand who is responsible for this impunity, and the entire society has to join this process. We have to ensure transparency. We have to ensure focus of society on this issue. And unfortunately, we observe that there is not enough focus of society, while we do not realize that only specific court rulings and confiscations should be actual result. And the key outcome that prosecutor general should be a person who wishes not to just finalize the case, the litigation, but to get the result, that is confiscation. David Sakvarilidze obviously has shown that this is possible. But when I asked yesterday one of prosecutors, why you do not do this or that, he mentioned there is an order from my boss. Good morning, I am Taras Hatalyak, human rights activist and coordinator of the Initiative Lawyers of Heavenly 100 Families.
Investigation of crimes on Automaidan. First of all, together with MPs, civic initiatives, and with lawyers and of the families of Heavenly 100, we organized an investigation commission, and on investigation of those crimes on Automaidan. At present, we have information that the Green Committee in the Parliament is not going to put on this agenda, setting up a temporary investigation commission. Though there is a committee, agenda committee, they agreed with that issue, and they brought for further discussion. On Monday at 11 o'clock, there will be a picket and of that meeting of the Green Committee on Hrusevsky 18th Street. The second point, it's very important, and this is a very important issue, and arrest of Yanishevsky. Oleg Yanishevsky, deputy commander of Berkut unit, who until recently was working in the main department of the Ministry of Interior in Kiev. There is a big threat again that he will be let off, like it mattered to Sadolenko, and when he told that he would flee. And on the 20th of July, there will be appeal consideration of lawyers, and there is a big threat to his life because he is a key witness and key suspect in this case, because he's a suspect that he, in addition that being on Maidan, he participated in killing people, and he gave orders to his subordinates. Next point, very important, serious problem about sabotage. And I would like to say, Yanishevsky was working in police of Kiev, and chief of the inspection on HI, Lyudmila Yemlyanko, she was working under Yanukovych, and she's working on now, and the results are negative. There are no results of investigation. The head of the police, Alexander Tereshchuk, he was dismissed because of illustration. Now, President Poroshenko brought him back to this position. I have a question to Minister Avakov. Is he going to be responsible, or is he going to resign? Because Oleg Yanishevsky was working until recently, until the arrest. Sabotage by judges, very serious problem. And since February 18, investigation from General Prosecution cannot get a copy of court decision on December 9, 2013 about a prohibition of peaceful gatherings. On the basis of that protocol, they were taken Maidan many times, and 7 judges were replaced in Pechersky suit, and we cannot get that agreement. And Judge Maselko refused to give access to investigators to these materials, and we should pay attention to that. And this is sabotage not just of the judges, but a sabotage of the majority of judges of the Pechersky court. And about the prosecution in Kiev, the work of the prosecution, as I told you, I spoke to 2 investigators. We spoke to Shokin, raising criminal charges to prosecutors of prosecution of Kiev who sabotaged the investigation of crimes on Euromaidan. Very interesting decision. They should set up a special department, and there is the head of, and there is Alexei Nichiparenko, who is heading the department, who was, in fact, in prosecution he investigation of crimes against Euromaidan. Now he's appointed of that head of the department, and he's a son of the deputy of the party of region, Valentin Nepocherenko, who voted for laws of January 16. Was he invited to the investigation? Did he give his evidence to general prosecution? That's very interesting policy of the leadership of the general prosecution. And with your permission, Pavlo Dekany, I would like to give him a floor. Very important. Day before yesterday. Pavlo. Vakul Ibrahimov, who is a lawyer. I am a lawyer on that case. I just have to continue. What my colleagues told yet. In this is a wonderful website, and it will help all of us. And I would add like judges who take decisions. It's compulsory because what we see in the Pechersky court, this is just a reason for unprofessionalism to kick them, to dismiss them. Like Dmitry Sadovnik was liberated, and a key suspect in Titushuk, plot from Kharkiv was released, and who in Kiev on the 21st of January they were kidnapping people, taking them out of the city, torturing them. There were 4 people who were arrested, and a key person was that Rahimov, acting policeman. And 2 days ago, having evidence, there was a pressure by his relatives and lawyers and witnesses who started to refuse to give evidence. They released him. And I don't understand the motivation of a judge, and that there is a heavy crime there. This is just one of the examples that court system and prosecution system, they're not able to do the investigation and to find legal facts to bring to responsibility those who committed crimes. Thank you. Very quick question to Vitaliy. These 5,045 confiscated from whom? That is all sum. That's money received by the state to the state budget from confiscated, corrupted assets in the first quarter of this. This is after the year of investigation of crimes of the previous authorities. So this is what we got. Only clue, 2 cases stole 10 billion hryvnia. Just clue. I don't speak about the rest. And this is just a sentence. By the way, I add that in Lysychansk today there will be a very stormy event. A deputy MP from Oppo bloc Dunaev, for Boyko and Bakulin, who has billions stole. They will open a line at the factory where 4,000 people worked and now only 400 are there. So results of the activity of these people we see that. Thank you very much, and we'll come to this topic again, and where the website was presented, and thank you very much. Next briefing or roundtable will be in 3 minutes. Management of state debt.
1-2.